Hello everyone and welcome to the Green Man channel. Hope you're doing good and well. So it's time for the first of two album reviews on the channel this Saturday, and these follow a huge release date yesterday on the 7th of February where we saw lots of big releases coming out in the rock and metal spheres. And the first of these two album reviews I'm doing is talking about the solo studio album from the former bassist and vocalist of Nightwish, Marko Hietala. This is his release, Roses from the Deep, which came out yesterday via Nuclear Blast, and the album is 10 tracks and just over 50 minutes in length. So I think for those of you curious about what Marko can do outside the constraints of being in a band like Nightwish and want to see him kind of exercise his own power in his, vocal skills, and I have to say something which really stands out on this album are his songwriting skills actually, and some really good lyrics and really interesting lyrics too that are kind of on this album. I do think that if you're curious about how Marko would sound outside of Nightwish, or if you even just like his role and his parts in previous Nightwish albums, you definitely need to check this out. This is a really solid, really, quite a good variety on display as well here. So I highly recommend that if you are not, Marko curious outside of the boundaries of, the sort of classic Nightwish sound, definitely this is an album for you. I can't stress this enough. This is a really good album from Marko here. So as I say, I think he blends together here some good songwriting with a highly consistent performance level, and it's also because of Marko's distinctive voice, I feel, and the sort of combination of a pretty classic rock sound sometimes on this album and some bluesy stuff, and it's sort of all woven together very well, that I feel like you get the end result of a pretty high quality record. So let's go into some of the songs. I usually tend to shout out the songs that I enjoy the most here, rather than necessarily going into the songs I don't like as much. And to be honest, the first track I really enjoyed was Frankenstein's Wife, which I thought reminds me a bit of a song that might come out on, or might be on an album like Alice Cooper's Trash from 1989, for instance. I thoroughly enjoyed that song. I thought it was just, really good fun, really catchy, and I'm a sucker for anything that's anthemic and sounds a bit like it's from the 1980s. So that won me over straight away, to be quite honest, Frankenstein's Wife. I also really enjoyed the song that featured Taya, Left on Mars, which, sometimes when you get collaborations, one vocalist tends to take kind of, maybe overshadow the other a little bit. But I thought this was a good coming together of, both former Nightwish members without either kind of overshadowing the other, bringing back that classic sound of both their voices without sounding too much like classic Nightwish and sounding very much like its own song in Marko's own kind of path, if you like, here. And I really enjoyed that particular track as well. I also like Two Soldiers, a ballad on the album, which was, really well written. And there's a part of, I think it was the last chorus, a couple of vocal lines I really enjoyed, where he says, all we have are dreams and dreams can take you far. Just an example, I think, of some of the things Marko writes that I think about and I really enjoy thinking about. And Tamiku is an interesting one to be the last but one track on the album. Really fun, entertaining kind of track sung in Marko's own native tongue, I believe. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong on that. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think it's in Finnish. And a really enjoyable song that I think sets up the last track nicely. You want something to keep your attention before the end of the album. You don't want to drift away too much. And I feel like, this is a kind of a slight diversion from the rest of the album. It is a good one to have before the last track, which I also really enjoy, Roses from the Deep. Kind of gave me a bit of a vibe of a sort of early 90s rock song or ballad. Again, extremely strong songwriting on display for this song too, and thoroughly enjoyed that one also. All this leaves me with a score to give, and I certainly can't give this any lower than an 8 out of 10. I think at the moment, as it's relatively early days for me with this album, of course, I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. I think it was very good. I think, as I say, if you want to explore Marko outside of that Nightwish context and you're curious, then I thoroughly recommend you do check this one out. This, for me, as I say, giving this an 8 out of 10. I can see myself ordering a physical copy of this one. So, it's always a sign the Green Man enjoyed this record. Anyway, from me, until next time, just a reminder, really do drop a like and a sub. And if you enjoy this kind of content, do check out some of my other album reviews and rankings. There's plenty of those to go around. So from me, until next time, bye for now.